It is often called the most controversial psychological study of all time. A study so dangerous that it had to end earlier than expected due to the extremely cruel behavior of the participants involved. 13 laws and an amendment were passed in order to protect future scientific test subjects. This study revealed the true darkness of the human psyche, reveling in the shadows it created. Despite all of this, the catalyst that started it all is somehow still running today. As of currently, one test subject is alive to tell the tale. This is his story. This is the Stanford Arby's experiment. Let's set the scene. It's a bright sunny day in Stanford, California. It is currently the year 2000, the start of a new millennium. Many businesses wanted to be hip and cool, to be the new best thing, to attract as many customers as possible. They wanted to catch up with the current culture and newest trends at the time. One of these many businesses was Arby's, a fast food chain that focused on selling roasted meat sandwiches. The CEO at the time, Felipe Zimbabwe, was dead set on bringing back Arby's from the brink of bankruptcy. So he hatched a plan, a weirdly educational one. He would do some sort of social experiment. He didn't know if it would work or not. He just wanted to throw something at the wall and see which one stuck. Any publicity is good publicity, he's famously said. This social experiment would involve customers eating Arby's products and giving them good reviews. Felipe's goal? Get popular and make them eat Arby's, no matter the cost. But how would he get willing participants? Participants were recruited from the local community through an advertisement on the radio, offering a $20 Popeyes gift card to male students who want to participate in a, quote, psychological study of fast food restaurants, end quote. The advertisement intentionally not telling what restaurants they were testing for. 24 participants were chosen after questionnaires of their taste in food, and then assigned randomly to the role of either customers or cooks. Originally, there were 12 customers, but once they saw the Arby's sign approaching, all but one jumped out of the moving vehicle they were being transported in, their fates unknown to this day. Critics have questioned the validity of these methods. Those volunteers selected to be cooks were all secretly brainwashed Arby's employees, and they were instructed to prevent customers from eating anything else other than Arby's. The experiment started officially when customers were invited in by the world-renowned chef Gordon Ramsay. During the next 5 days, psychological abuse of the customers, or should I say customer, by the cooks became increasingly brutal. After famous chef How To Basic visited to evaluate the conditions, he was troubled to see how study participants were behaving and confronted Zimbabwe. He ended the experiment on the 6th day. Exact details are sparse, but a rough timeline of the experiment created through documents went something like this. Day 1. After getting dragged into the basement of Stanford University, the one remaining customer, Alan Panko, was invited into the restaurant before getting fingerprinted, photographed, strip searched, and given an ID number to strip him of his identity. Day 2. After being denied McDonald's, Alan Panko barricaded himself inside of his own room using his bed. Cooks retaliated aggressively, using fire extinguishers and meat mounds to subdue him, and implementing punishing chitlin chomps and stripping tactics. Day 3. Alan Panko experienced severe emotional distress and began screaming and acting crazy. He was allowed to eat only one Big Mac because the cooks took pity on him. Day 4. The cooks overheard rumors of an attempted escape from the restaurant. In response, they intensified their cruelty, forcing Alan into degrading activities like making thirst trap edits of himself and making him listen to Tom MacDonald and forcing him to glaze Drake. Day 5. Researchers permitted parents and friends to visit, implementing strict rules to maintain the simulation. Alan had no living friends or family as he was homeless, so they just beat him up and threw slices of roast beef at him instead. Day 6. The experiment was abruptly halted when famous chef How To Basic strongly objected to the ethical horrors of the simulation. Alan Ponko had already been seen crying, experiencing anxiety, and psychological trauma. The experiment has been referenced and critiqued as an example of an unethical taste test experiment, and the harm inflicted on the participants in this and other experiments during the post-Y2K era prompted American universities and the government to improve their ethical requirements and institutional review for human experiment subjects in order to prevent them from being similarly harmed. Other fast food CEOs have found it difficult to reproduce the study, especially given those constraints. Felipe Zimbabwe stepped down as CEO of Arby's a year later. Some people argue that the experiment was good for the field of science because it generated new fields of research, and that it served as a massive wake-up call for the scientific community because of the psychological distress and overall amateur leadership that occurred during the experiment. Others retort that since Arby's is utter garbage, the whole experiment should be disregarded entirely. Two wrongs don't make a right, they argue. Regardless of your views, many agree that this study will go down in history as one of the most cruelest and most unusual experiments of all time.